大家都早晨啦。
So good morning, everyone.
早晨。咁其實今朝早原本我哋同 Stephen 都諗住早少少翻到嚟教會。
Yeah, so this morning we wanted to come earlier to church.
咁但係中間都有少少阻礙啦。咁個 Google Map 唔知點解同平日行嘅路有啲唔同。
Yeah, but then as we were following Google Maps, it gave us a different route today.
咁但係都感恩啦，即係雖然比我哋預計嘅遲咗少少，但係都有早嘅時間嚟有預備同安靜。
Yeah, so although we were later than we had hoped, we were still early enough to be able to quiet down and prepare ourselves.
同埋點解有啲緊張咧？就係因為咁耐，我哋都冇試過係咁樣主日出嚟，咁樣嚟合作大師嘅。以往我哋多數可能係團契嗰度有咁樣分享啦。咁導師早幾日同香港嘅導師傾電話都話未聽過你哋咁樣嘅組合先。
Yeah, so another reason why I'm a little bit nervous is this is the first time we are coming out as a couple to serve and to lead song worship. Usually in Hong Kong, it's a group together. And even a few days ago when we were sharing with our Hong Kong leaders, they were also very surprised.
咁無論如何啦，都感恩啦。今日喺教會入邊啦，我哋都可以一齊啦，可以去唱詩去敬拜我哋嘅優榮父神啦。
Yeah, but whatever it is, we do give thanks. Yeah, that today we can come together to sing praises to God.
我哋先讀一節經文啦。
So first, let us read this verse.
馬太福音6章10節，願你的國降臨，願你的旨意成就在地上，如同在天上一樣。
So this is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. May your kingdom come. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
咁都讓我哋一齊起立啦，去唱嚟緊呢首詩歌，願你國降臨。
Yeah, so let us all rise to sing this song, May your kingdom come.
敬拜你，愿你国度降临，愿你旨意成全，从今直到永远。
Second Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
這稱為我名下的子民，若是謙卑禱告，尋求我的面，轉離他們的惡行，我必從天上垂聽，赦免他們的罪，醫治他們的地。歷代志下7章14節。讓我哋都再唱呢首詩歌一次啊！我哋今次唱英文。
Yeah, so we'll sing this song again, but sing this in English this time. May your glory come and fill this place. May your glory fill the earth. May your people help me seek you, Lord. Lord, may you hear their prayer. May your kingdom now come upon us. May your will be done on earth. May your people cry out to you. May you hear from above. May your glory come and fill this place. May your glory fill the earth. May your people humbly seek you. Lord, may you hear their prayer. May your kingdom now come upon us. May your will be done on earth. When your people cry out to you, may you hear from above. Lord, we will cry to you, cry to you, Yahweh, our God, forever waits. So we will cry to you, cry to you, Lord, may your kingdom come. Lord, we will yearn for you, Yahweh, our God, forever reigns. For we will yearn for you, Lord, may your kingdom come. Lord, we will worship you, Yahweh, our God, forever reigns. For we will worship you, Lord, may your kingdom come. Lord, may your will be done from now and for all time.
咁都感恩啦！今日有機會同 Stephen 都喺度同大家分享我哋點樣經歷神啦。
Yes, so I'm very happy that this morning Stephen and I are able to share our testimony and how we have experienced God.
係啊，咁都感恩牧師同同工佢哋邀請啦。
Yeah, so thank the pastors for inviting us.
咁都係一個機會去再一次去數算神嘅恩典咯。
Yeah, this is also a time for us to recount God's blessings to us.
咁咧我個女咧就好期待我哋今日嘅分享咯。
Yeah, so our daughter is really looking forward to our sharing today.
因為成日誤以為咧今日我哋講道，
Yeah, so she thinks that we are preaching today.
咁但係其實我同佢講都係一個嘅分享啦。
Yeah, so I was telling her actually it's a sharing.
咁喺預備嘅時間咧，咁有陣時去喺側邊做嘢，咁我就預備分享，咁佢都會喺度偷睇喎。
Yeah, so as I was preparing, she would sit beside me and she'll also look at what I'm preparing.
咁佢好好奇，點解呢啲嘢我唔知嘅咁
And
樣？
she was very curious. She was asking me, how come I don't know all these
係
things?
啦，咁又問點解我冇同佢講？
And she asked me, how come I didn't share this with her?
咁係啦，咁都係呢一啲都係應該係佢未，大部分都係佢未出世之前我哋嘅一啲經歷啦。
Yeah, but a lot of this happened before she was born.
係啦，咁係啦，咁就感恩今日同大家分享，我哋都一齊再將時間都交俾天父。
Yeah, so as before we begin the sharing, yeah, may we just come before God once again, yeah, in
我哋
prayer.
一齊祈禱。
Let us pray.
我哋嘅亞維父神，
Yeah, Yahweh, our Father, our God.
感謝你俾我哋認識你，
Yeah, thank you for giving us this chance to know you.
讓到我哋一班原本大家都互相唔認識嘅，
Yeah, we all didn't know one another before this.
我哋可能嚟自唔同嘅地方，有唔同嘅背景，
Yeah, we have different backgrounds and we come from different places.
但係因為能夠認識你，我哋一齊返到嚟教會，
Yeah, but because we know you, we come to church together.
我哋可以一齊嘅去學習，一齊互相分享，一齊互相鼓勵，
Yeah, we're able to learn together, to share together, and to encourage one another.
都將到今日整個時間都去交上，求父神你都去帶領。
Yeah, so we commit this time to you and pray that God, you would lead us.
願你嘅榮耀都能夠彰顯，
Yeah, may your glory, yeah, be seen in our midst.
將頌讚都去歸俾你。
All glory be to your name.
多謝天父你聽到我哋嘅祈禱，
Yeah, thank you for listening to our prayers.
阿門。
Amen.
咁咧我好細個咧聽到媽咪咧同我分享一件事，
So when I was young, I heard my mom share this with me.
咁佢話咧有一個夜晚，佢聽到一把聲音同佢講，
So she was sharing that one night she heard this voice telling her,
你個女咧俾被冚住咗，唞唔到氣。
yeah, your daughter is being covered by a blanket and she cannot breathe.
咁我媽咪咧就即刻醒咗，
So my mom woke up immediately.
係啦。咁嗰個嘅佢嘅女咧就係我啦。
And so her daughter, which is me,
咁
that
佢
was
就
me.
係啦，睇到我真係俾被蓋住咗，
So she saw me being covered by a blanket
咁就即刻咧去攞開張被。
and she removed the blanket immediately.
咁嗰陣時我係得幾個月大，唔夠1歲嘅。
Yeah, at that point, I was not even a year old. I was only a couple of months old.
咁都好感謝神喺我未認識佢之前咧，神咧就已經救咗我。
Yeah, so I really do thank God that before I came to know him, he had already saved my life.
係啦，俾我之後都可以有機會去認識同埋經歷到神。
Yeah, and because of this, yeah, I later on had an opportunity to know God and to experience him.
咁我由讀書開始咧，
So when I started schooling,
咁我讀嘅幼稚園啦、小學、中學，甚至係大學咧，都係基督教嘅學校。
yeah, be it kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, or even up to university, it was all Christian schools.
咁我婆婆、阿姨、姑姐都係基督徒嚟嘅，
So my grandmother and my aunts were also Christians.
咁所以我對神唔陌生。我好細個就已經有機會參加主日學同崇拜。
Yeah, so since young, I've had an opportunity to hear about God, to attend a Sunday school, and to attend service.
咁當我讀小學3年班嘅時候，
So, but when I was in primary 3,
咁當時我哋一家5口咧係住喺香港一啲舊式嘅唐樓，係一啲比較細嘅單位。
yeah, so our family of 5 were living in a older estate in Hong Kong, and our home was pretty small.
咁因為太細咧，我哋就搬咗去一啲新嘅起嘅公共屋邨度住。
Yeah, so because there was not enough space, we moved to a bigger place.
咁當時咧媽咪咧就同神去祈禱，話如果咧附近有教會咧，佢就會去參加。
Yeah, so at that point in time when we had to move house, my mom prayed to God and said, "Oh God, if there's a church nearby, I will attend church."
咁咧神聽咗媽咪嘅禱告喎。
Yeah, and God heard her prayers.
咁喺我哋屋企嘅隔離大廈嘅地下咧，就係一間教會。
So there was a church right beside our block.
咁咧咁嗰陣時，除咗爸爸之外咧，咁媽咪咧就帶住我哋幾姊妹咧，就一齊去開始返教會。
Yeah, so my mom brought the three of us girls to church. Yeah, so all of us would attend church except for my father.
咁過咗一段時間咧，媽咪就受浸啦。
So after some time, my mom was baptized.
咁但係咧之後咧都發生咗唔同嘅事啦。咁可能亦都係我哋忽略咗爸爸嘅感受啦。
Yeah, but after that, various things happened, and we might have neglected our father's feelings.
咁我爸爸係一個冇信仰嘅人啦。
So my father doesn't have any religion.
就算我嫲嫲有拜偶像，其實佢都冇跟住嘅咁樣啦。佢係冇任何信仰咯。
Yeah, so he doesn't subscribe to any religion. So even though my grandmother was also an idol, worship idols, yeah, he didn't follow her.
但係由嗰陣時開始咧，佢就好反對信仰。
Yeah, but from that point onwards, he became very antagonistic towards religion.
咁當依家去諗翻咧，可能都係因為我哋逢星期日就會翻教會啦。咁佢咧就係逢星期日就唔使翻工喺屋企嘅。
Yeah, so when we look back, it could be because last time every Sunday we'll go to church, but actually every Sunday was his day off from work.
咁當佢每一次去提議要帶我哋去玩啊、去食嘢嘅時候咧，
So whenever he suggested going out, to play or to eat something,
咁我哋都好似好忙咁同佢講，我哋要翻教會，要翻主日學，都拒絕佢。
yeah, so we always rejected his suggestions. We'll tell him we're very busy, we're going to church.
咁慢慢都令佢覺得咧，我哋將信仰咧睇得好緊要，比所有嘢都好重要咯。
Yeah, so it gave him the impression that to us, church was everything, religion was everything, it was more important than anything else.
甚至認為咧，其實係我哋已經去到迷信嘅地步啦。
Yeah, so he felt that we were a little bit too absorbed. Yeah.
咁佢會挑戰係啦，如果佢唔翻工，咁我哋就會大咩？會有飯食咩咁咯？
And so he will challenge us. He'll ask us, well, if I don't go to work, then will we have food to eat?
咁每次仲記得媽咪食飯嘅時候禱告咧，佢有陣時都會整蠱佢。
And so I also remember as my mom would give thanks for the food before our meals, and my father would also say something.
佢就會可能放啲薑啊、蒜頭啊、骨啊喺佢個碗嗰度。
Oh, he would tease her as she was praying. So as she closed her eyes to pray for the meal and give thanks, he might put some ginger, he might put some bones into her bowl.
係啦，咁嗰時開始咧，其實爸爸媽媽咧就成日都會為咗信仰而嘈交。
Yeah, so from that point onwards, my father and my mother would quarrel, over religion, over church.
咁我記得嗰陣時好細個，每次佢哋嘈得好緊要，我可能都係匿埋被嘅，我就會喊。
And so I remember at that point in time, I was still very young, and whenever they were arguing outside, I would go into my room and I'll just cover myself in my blanket and I will cry.
咁亦都因為爹哋咁反對咧，佢都唔俾我哋再返教會。
Yeah, and because my dad was so against church, he didn't allow us to go to church anymore.
咁但係教會嘅傳道人咧都會定期去探我哋嘅。
Yeah, but then the church leaders and the church brethren would also come and visit us from time to time.
咁我哋間中趁爹哋唔喺度咧，我哋都會偷偷地返教會嘅。
Yeah, and if our dad wasn't at home, we would also sneak out to attend church.
咁喺其中一次傳道人嘅探訪咧，咁佢當時問我決唔決志信主，咁嗰陣時我就決志咗啦。咁就嗰陣時係我小學6年級到啦。
Yeah, so when I was 12, when I was in primary 6, during one of these visits, one of the church brethren, asked me whether I would like to be a Christian, and at that point in time, I said yes.
咁升中之後咧，都好感恩，成日都去老師都好成日同我哋分享佢哋點樣信主啦，佢哋嘅一啲經歷啦，咁亦都有機會上宗教堂。
Yeah, so when I was in secondary school, our teachers were very good. They also shared their experiences with God, and I also had the chance, to take a course in religious studies.
咁嗰陣開始咧，亦都開始參加學校嘅團契。
So I also began to join the fellowship group in school.
咁因為爹哋媽咪咧都管得我好嚴嘅，
So because my parents were pretty strict,
係啦，即係早2個星期有機會同啲媽媽喺公園度分享，講緊佢啲仔女升中嘅時候可以自己返學。
yeah, so about 2 weeks ago when we were in the park and I was talking to the other moms and we were just talking about how their children are able to go to school by themselves.
但係我到中學嘅時候咧，爸爸媽媽咧都係仍然送我去搭校車，放學喺校車站接我返屋企嘅。
Yeah, but then for me, when I was in secondary school, even up till then, my parents would send me to the school bus and would pick me from the school bus.
後期有一段時間咧，爸爸轉咗工咧，直情係咁啱係喺我學校嗰度揸校巴嘅。
So at that point in time, my dad changed his job, and it so happened that he was a school bus driver. Yeah, very near my school.
咁但係我都好乖，我唔係好唔聽話，因為佢咁樣嘅。不過佢哋都對我都緊張我啦咁啊。
Yeah, so I was a pretty good girl. I was very obedient, but they were also concerned and they were pretty strict with me.
咁所以咁樣咧，當時學校嘅團契咧，其實係喺 lunch 即係晏晝食飯嘅時間舉行嘅。
Yeah, so also very thankful because at that point in school, the Christian fellowship was held during lunchtime.
咁我先至可以參加得到咯，對神有更加多嘅認識咯。
Yeah, that's why I was able to join the Christian fellowship and I was able to get to know God a bit more.
咁雖然我係相信神啦，平日都會睇聖經同埋同神去祈禱。
So although I did believe in God, I will also read the Bible and I will also pray.
但係大致嘅生活方式咧，其實依家去睇返，其實同其他人都係冇乜分別嘅。
Yeah, but now when I look back, actually my life was not different from anybody else's.
咁同埋初中嘅時候開始咧，我已經係好俾心機讀書嘅。
And from secondary school onwards, I was very serious with my studies.
咁我爹哋媽咪係唔擔心我嘅學業嘅。
Yeah, my parents didn't have to worry about my studies or my grades.
咁反而有陣時我會自己因為考得唔好而唔開心咧，調翻轉頭佢哋係會安慰我嘅。
Yeah, on the contrary, I would be upset when I didn't do well and they would be the ones comforting me.
咁讀書其實喺我中學階段咧係變成一個好即係一個中心咯，因為可能我都冇其他嘅興趣。
Yeah, so at that point in time during my secondary school years, my life centered around school, around my grades, around my studies. I didn't have any other interests.
咁特別到咗高中嘅時候咧，要應付公開考試啦。
Yeah, especially when I had to face the public examinations later on.
咁我就好少再參加學校嘅團契啦。
Then I stopped, joining the Christian fellowship in school.
咁直到考完公開試嘅暑假。
So after my public examinations, when we had some holidays.
咁有一次同同學一齊同老師去食飯喎。
So I had a meal with my classmates and with my teachers.
咁我哋同老師講我哋都想返教會。
So we told our teacher that, hey, actually we do want to come to church.
咁佢咧就帶我哋返咗香港嘅將軍澳教會。
And my teacher brought us to our Jiangguan Old Church in Hong Kong.
咁返咗去之後咧，先發現咧原來好多嘅中學同學咧都係喺度返教會嘅。
And when I went to church, I realized I saw many of my classmates, attending the same church.
咁所以都好親切啦。
Yeah, so I felt very at home.
咁就喺呢個時間開始咧，我每個星期咧都會返團契同埋參加活動啦。
Yeah, so from this point in time, I would regularly go to church and I would also attend the various fellowship activities.
亦都開始盡心認識神更加多一啲。
Yeah, and I also became more serious, with knowing God.
咁就都發現咧，自己以為自己嘅相信神咧，其實同聖經所講咧係有分別嘅。
And then that was when I realized that although I thought I believed in God, my belief was different from the belief that was stated in the Bible.
咁不過咧，當時返教會咧都係仍然有困難嘅。
Yeah, but actually at that point in time, I also faced challenges in coming to church.
咁因為爸爸媽媽都管得嚴啦，出親街咧其實都要交代嘅。
Yeah, because my parents were strict. Every time I went out, every time I was out of the house, I had to tell them where I went.
咁而教會係喺村屋度啦，咁而返教會嘅途中咧，就會經過。就係咁啱，就係我爸爸放工嘅時間，架車會經過嘅。
So it also so happened that the route to church was also the same area where my dad would pass by after he finished his work.
咁其實所以咧，有陣時佢架車真係喺側邊經過，都幾緊張，即係擔心佢會問，因為行嗰條路咧唔係你平日去街啊會經過嘅路。
Yeah, so actually it also happened that his car would pass by as I was walking on that road, and I'll be very afraid. I'm very nervous that he'll ask me where am I going, because that's not a typical route for me.
咁好多時候咧，我都即係同佢哋講咧，我係約咗好朋友一齊出去嘅。
Yeah, so usually I'll tell them I'm meeting my good friends.
咁因為佢都係真係同我一齊返教會嘅。
Yeah, because they are actually coming to church together with me.
咁隔咗冇幾耐咧，就放榜啦。
So after some time, I received my results.
咁我雖然咧所有嘅科咧都合格，
So although I passed every subject,
但係我派唔到大學學位。
yeah, I wasn't able to enter into university.
咁香港有副學士嘅，連副學士都冇。
So in Hong Kong, there's also something called an associate degree, but I also wasn't able to enter into that program.
咁我嘅老師咧就叫我上訴啦，
So my teacher advised me to appeal.
要求即係考試局再重新復核啦。
Yeah, so to have a review of my grades.
咁最後咧得出嘅結果就係有一個副學士嘅學位。
So in the end, after the review, I was able to have a space in an associate degree.
咁不過最後咧我決定咗重讀。
Yeah, but in the end, I decided to repeat my year.
咁今次嗰個嘅挫敗咧對我嚟講都打擊好大啦。
Yeah, but this time, this failure, yeah, had a big impact on me.
咁雖然即係可能爸爸都覺得喺佢哋嘅年代咧，中學畢業已經好好啦，同埋我係女，其實可以唔使讀咁多書。
So although my parents were all right, my dad also felt that, yeah, in that time and age, it's perfectly fine to just have secondary education, and especially because I'm a girl.
但對我嚟講咧，讀書好緊要啦。
Yeah, but to me, my studies are very important.
係啦，咁所以覺得自己好挫敗啦。
Yeah, so I felt that I was a failure.
咁同埋屋企咧都有唔同嘅事發生。
Yeah, and at the same time, there were many different things happening at home.
咁最嚴重嘅咧，嗰陣時係我嫲嫲啱啱有鼻咽癌。
Yeah, and the most important one, or the one with the most impact, was that my grandmother had nasopharyngeal cancer.
咁嗰陣時都好細個啦，要面對咁多嘅嘢咧，都覺得好冇能力。
Yeah, so at that time I was still young, and when I had to face so many different things, I felt very helpless.
咁都去感謝神，就係當時咧就係教會嘅姊妹啦，去關心我啦，成日同我禱告。
Yeah, so I also thank God that at that point in time, there was a sister from church, who would show her concern and would pray together with me.
咁因為嫲嫲患癌症咧，咁佢有一段時間都喺我屋企住嘅。
So because my grandmother had cancer, she lived with us for a period of time.
咁其中一次咧，記得去俾熱水去淥親腳。
Yeah, so I remember that there was once she was scalded by hot water,
咁隻腳又紅又腫，
and her leg was red and swollen,
但係佢都唔肯去睇醫生。
but she didn't want to go to the doctor.
咁我記得喺團契度嘅祈禱會去分享呢件事啦。
So I remember I shared this during a prayer meeting during fellowship time,
咁大家都去為到去禱告。
and everyone prayed for her.
咁第二日咧，佢肯去睇醫生。
The second day, she was willing to go to the doctor.
咁而喺重考嘅時間咧，神都賜俾我平安。
Yeah, so as I repeated my year and I retook the exams, God gave me peace.
咁對於考試咧，我嘅心情咧比以前比較輕鬆，冇咁緊張。
Yeah, and I wasn't as stressed, as I faced the examinations.
咁呢啲經歷咧都俾我咧想去參加衞生訓練。
So these experiences, caused me to want to join this commitment training.
咁但係都係仍然好驚爸爸去反對。
Yeah, but at the same time, I was very afraid that my dad would reject.
咁我心入邊好冇平安。
Yeah, or that he would stop me, and so I didn't have this peace in my heart.
咁所以最後就冇參加到。
So in the end, I didn't attend commitment training.
咁之後讀咗大學咧，我有機會住大學嘅宿舍。
So when I went to university, I was able to stay in the university hostel.
咁返教會同訓練咧就會比較自由啦。
So it gave me more freedom, to be able to attend church and also the various Bible studies.
咁神都俾我進一步去經歷到佢嘅真實。
Yeah, so God allowed me, to experience his reality, even more.
咁喺呢段時間，我亦都肯定咧，就算爹哋點樣去反對咧，我都會堅持嘅。
Yeah, so at this point in time, I decided that no matter how my dad would object, I will continue.
咁直至到再有委身訓練咧，
So when the next commitment training came about,
咁我就決定咗參加。
yeah, I decided to join.
咁喺訓練入邊學嘅嘢咧，都好深刻。
Yeah, so I clearly remember what I learned, during these training sessions.
神咧都俾到我睇到咧自己有好多軟弱同埋罪。
Yeah, God opened my eyes that I can see my weaknesses and my sin.
咁喺訓練嘅時間咧，都去學咧將所知道嘅咧就去實踐出嚟啦。
So during this commitment training, I also learned how to practice what I have learned.
咁去經歷咧神喺自己身上嘅改變。
Yeah, and I also experienced God working in my life to change me.
學去從其他人嘅角度咧多去睇事，唔係再個焦點擺喺自己度。
Yeah, so I learned not to focus on myself and also to look at things from other people's point of view as well.
變得冇咁執着同埋堅持己見。
So I wasn't as stubborn and didn't insist on my own ways as much.
特別喺選大學嘅畢業專題上邊咧，
Especially when I was choosing my university major.
我放低咗原先自己揀嘅題目。
Yeah, I put down my first choice.
主要係為咗唔想同同學之間有即係為咗嗰份嘅和睦啦，咁樣就唔想同佢哋爭。
Yeah, the main reason is to maintain peace, and harmony amongst my friends. I didn't want to fight with them.
咁呢一次都係一個比較深刻嘅經歷啊。
Yeah, so this left a deep impression on me.
因為我都係一個好固執同堅持己見嘅人嚟嘅。
Yeah, because I am quite a stubborn person and I would insist on my ways.
我唔中意同人哋爭，
I don't like to argue with people.
但係遇到唔合理嘅嘢，我一定會堅持咯。
Yeah, but I will stand my ground if it's unreasonable.
咁同埋學業仍然對我嚟講係緊要嘅。
And studies to me was very important.
咁但係神都俾我睇得到，人際關係都係重要。
Yeah, but God allowed me to see that human relationships are also very important.
係啦，神都俾我睇到，如果我同個同學為咗一個題目去爭，唔單止都影響到佢，亦都得罪佢。
Yeah, so God allowed me to see that if because of this, I would argue and quarrel with my friend, it would also affect my friend. It will also offend God.
咁感謝神嘅提醒同埋幫助啦。如果唔係神嘅能力咧，我係唔會咁做。
Yeah, so I really thank God for His reminder and for His help, because if not for Him, I wouldn't have done this.
咁參加委身訓練之後咧，我就受浸啦。
So I was baptized after the commitment training,
咁冇幾耐就畢業出嚟做嘢啦。
and shortly afterwards, I graduated and I came out to work.
咁我發現咧，返工咧比返學嘅時間咧，個人際關係咧係更加複雜嘅。
And then I realized that human relationships at the office, in the workplace, is even more complicated than in school.
咁因為每個人嘅處理方式都唔同啦。
Yeah, because different people handle things in different ways.
好似人同人之間嘅相處咧，好似必然都會有摩擦。
And it seems that conflict is inevitable.
咁要喺入邊咧去學習，去行出神嘅愛呢個功課咧，都好唔容易。
Yeah, so in the midst of all this, if I really want to live out God's love, I find it very difficult.
因為我係一個好怕麻煩嘅人，
Because I'm somebody who doesn't like trouble.
我唔介意做好多嘅工作，
I don't mind working hard,
但係我都幾怕同人去合作同相處，
but I'm afraid of having to work together, with others,
特別係一啲比較難相處嘅同事。
especially for more difficult colleagues.
咁於是咧，我通常會盡力去做好自己嘅工作啦，但係就被同佢哋相處。
Yeah, so usually I would avoid having to work together with them, but I would do whatever is assigned to me and I'll do it well.
咁但係神都俾我知道，其實咁樣都係冇解決到個問題咯。
Yeah, but God showed me that I wasn't facing the problem, or I wasn't solving the problem this way.
咁於是都禱告求神去幫助啦。
Yeah, so I prayed and really asked God to help me.
都學習唔係淨係顧自己嘅事咯。
Yeah, and I learned that, I cannot just focus on my own issues.
咁除咗做好自己嘅職責、做好自己嘅工作之外咧，
So apart from doing my own work and my own responsibilities,
都去學習主動去幫其他同事。
I also learned to actively reach out, to help my colleagues.
咁特別係佢哋都需要幫助嘅時候，
Especially when they needed help.
但係要做到呢一點咧都唔容易。
But it's not easy for me to do this.
去幫一啲好嘅同事，可能對我嚟講冇問題嘅。
To me, it's easy to help a good colleague.
但係如果要幫一啲麻煩嘅同事咧，我就覺得好困難。
But I find it very difficult to help the difficult ones.
咁神都去提醒我啦，
But God reminded me
其實我都有好多麻煩唔可愛嘅地方。
that I also have my own difficult and unlovable side.
咁神都冇唔愛我啦。
And God didn't stop loving me.
每個人喺神眼中都係寶貴嘅，
And he loves everyone, and everyone is precious in his eyes.
咁所以都去學習依靠神啦。
So I learned to rely on God,
去愛其他人。
in order to love others.
咁都呢一個都係咯，神藉住工作去改變自己咯。
So this is a change in me that God did. And this is God's work in me as I was working.
咁信主之後咧，其實都經歷咗神好多嘅恩典同埋鼓勵啦。
So I really experienced God's grace and encouragement after I became a Christian.
咁就好似之前所講啦，其實爸爸係對基督教好反感嘅。
So as I shared earlier, my dad was against Christianity.
咁所以當 Stephen 同我要決定結婚嘅時候咧，
So when Stephen and I were preparing to get married,
咁我哋要面對一個好大嘅難處。
we faced a very big challenge
咁就係因為我哋嘅婚禮係要喺教堂度舉行。
because we were going to get married in a church.
咁爸爸要陪我入教堂咧，呢件事咧令到佢好為難。
And for my dad to walk me down the aisle in church, it was something that was very difficult to him.
咁就因為佢對信仰好反感啦，好抗拒。
Because he was so against church and Christianity and religion as a whole.
咁佢要去決定究竟陪我行教堂啊，定係唔陪咧？都個過程咧，其實令佢都好掙扎嘅。
So he also struggled, in his decision whether to walk me down the aisle in church or not to do that.
咁嗰段時間其實討論過好多次，其實都冇結果。
At that point in time, we had many discussions, but there were no conclusions.
咁同埋佢覺得我唔尊重佢。
He felt that I didn't respect him.
因為我係知道佢好反感。
Because I knew that he was against church and Christianity.
咁但係咧，我返教會啦，甚至受浸咧，佢最後都冇反對由得我嘅。
He didn't oppose, he didn't stop me from attending church or even getting baptized.
咁反而調返轉咧，我而家要逼佢做一啲佢好唔中意嘅嘢。
But on the other hand, now I was forcing him to do something that he really didn't want to do.
咁所以我都其實好難受嘅，因為爸爸佢好錫我，我亦都好錫佢。
I felt really, really bad because I really loved my dad and my dad also really loved me.
咁我記得我後期已經係最壞嘅打算咧，就係佢唔陪我行禮。
So I was prepared for the worst case scenario is that he wouldn't be the one to walk me down the aisle.
我記得嗰陣時我同 Pastor Alpha 講，喺我肉身嘅爸爸唔陪我行嘅話，嗰陣時我就諗住邀請屬靈嘅父親陪我去行禮。
I remember at that point I was speaking to Pastor Arthur and I was saying, if my physical father wouldn't be able to walk me down the aisle, can I ask my spiritual father to do so?
咁最後都好感恩神嘅憐憫啦，
But at the end, we really thank God for his mercy
同埋弟兄姊妹嘅禱告。
and a lot of prayers from the brethren.
咁爸爸諗到最後咧，後期就話大家都知道我係有爸爸嘅。
So in the end, my dad was saying, well, everybody knows you have a dad.
當如果我結婚嘅時候，爸爸唔出現咧，
But if your dad is not present at your wedding,
咁對其他人嚟講咧，其實係都好難睇。
it would look very bad.
咁佢就係用呢個藉口咧，去答應咗我陪我行禮。
So on this basis, he agreed to walk me down the aisle in church.
咁但係我亦都相信咧，佢係都想見證我進入人生另外一個階段。
But I believe he also wanted to witness me entering into a next stage in life.
咁 Hannah 嘅出世咧，都係神嘅恩典同埋看顧喎。
Yeah, so Hannah's birth is also God's grace and His protection.
咁最初懷孕嘅時間咧，其實陀得唔係好穩。
Yeah, so actually in the initial stages of pregnancy, it wasn't very stable.
咁可能係因為我唔知嘅時間咧，我仲去咗旅行同埋玩啦。
Yeah, it could be because before I knew I was pregnant, I still went out to travel and we were playing.
咁弟兄姊妹仲成日記得，邊度有人我哋去咗台灣啊，我飲咗苦瓜茶同埋冬瓜茶。
And I remember we also went to Taiwan and I had bitter gourd juice and watermelon juice.
咁翻嚟香港咧，因為仲係假期，仲同弟兄姊妹有活動去行山。
And then when I came back to Hong Kong, because it was still a holiday, it was still a break, we went hiking.
咁之後發現唔舒服咧，先至知道係因為有咗 BB。
Yeah, and it was only after all this, when I was very uncomfortable there, I realized I was pregnant.
咁跟住翻教會，我仲記得係第一個禮拜同大家分享呢件事。咁但係跟住之後咧，就已經作小產要入急症。
Yeah, I remember right after I shared the news of my pregnancy with the church, I had to enter into a hospital. I had to go to the emergency department.
呢一次係我人生入邊第一次咁樣要去睇醫生。
And this is the first time I had to go through the emergency to see a doctor.
咁但係當醫生檢查嘅時候咧，佢根據懷孕嗰個週數咧，佢聽唔到 BB 個心跳，覺得好唔正常。
Yeah, but at that point in time when the doctors were checking and were trying to hear the baby's heartbeat, they weren't able to find it.
咁醫生就建議咧要留院再詳細檢查。
So the doctors advised me to stay in the hospital so that they can do a more thorough check.
咁嗰陣都幾擔心同埋幾不安。
Yeah, at that point I was very worried and I didn't have this peace.
一嚟都咁大個女未試過入醫院咯。
Yeah, because I haven't experienced being admitted to hospital.
二嚟亦都唔知咩原因會係咁樣。
And I also didn't know what was happening with the baby.
咁跟住醫生再做仔細嘅檢查嘅時候，就發現咧嗰個胎咧比實質個週數比估計嘅細啊。
Yeah, so later on when they did more thorough checkups, they realized that the estimated due date, so they had tried to estimate how far along I was in my pregnancy and realized that the estimation was wrong and the baby was smaller than they thought.
咁所以咧要用儀器先至真係睇到個胎咯。
Yeah, so they had to use different equipment in order to be able to see the baby.
咁亦都係因為咁咧，咁就發現咗同時間咧，我有一個7 cm 乘5 cm 嘅水瘤，可能細過拳頭少少。
Yeah, and it was during one of those scans that they realized that there was a cyst inside. It's about 7 by 5 centimeters.
咁因為個胎好細，咁如果水瘤穿咗咧，其實對個胎就有危險。
And there was fluid in the cyst, and because the fetus was still very small, if the cyst would burst, it would be dangerous, for the baby.
咁但係因為個胎咁細咧，都唔可以即刻做手術。
But at the same time, because the baby was still so small, I wasn't able to go for an operation.
咁醫生咧建議要等20週個胎係穩定嘅時候咧，先至可以做手術。
Yeah, so the doctors advised that I wait until the baby was about 20 weeks old, and then I can go for an operation.
咁但係手術咧同樣都有風險嘅。
Yeah, but there are always risks with surgery.
咁而等呢段嘅時間咧，個水瘤亦都有機會會穿。
And in the process of waiting, there is also the risk that the cyst would burst.
咁就都會影響到個胎。
Yeah, and if that happened, it would affect the baby.
咁於是我哋都問咗另外一個醫生嘅意見嘅。
Yeah, so we also sought a second opinion.
咁嗰個醫生咧就認為唔使做手術。
And the second doctor advised us not to go for surgery.
咁但係對於我哋嚟講，聽咗一個醫生就話要做手術，一個醫生就話唔使咧，我哋都唔知點樣做。
Yeah, and we really didn't know what to do because one doctor was advising surgery, but the other doctor was saying no.
咁都感恩咧，當時我嘅上司咧係一個基督徒嘅醫生。
Yeah, so I'm also very thankful because at that point in time, my supervisor, my boss was a Christian doctor.
咁佢介紹咗一個好有經驗嘅專科醫生俾我。
And he recommended a very experienced specialist.
咁我哋就問咗呢個醫生嘅意見。
Yeah, and so we sought this specialist's opinion. 咁
佢真係好詳細、好細心咁樣去解釋。
Yeah, and he was very good. He explained to us in detail.
佢話佢根據佢嘅經驗咧，覺得呢個水瘤咧超過90% 咧係因為荷爾蒙嘅改變而引致嘅。
Yeah, so he was sharing with me that based on his experience, he thinks that there's an over 90% chance that the cyst was formed because of hormonal changes.
咁所以當個胎慢慢大嘅時候咧，個水瘤會慢慢吸收而收晒。
So as the baby grew, then the cyst will reduce in size.
咁所以咧，我哋最後就決定唔做手術啦。
So in the end, we decided not to go for surgery.
咁亦都感恩喺20週嘅時候咧，個水瘤都照唔到啦。
Yeah, and also, yeah, really give thanks that by the time I was 20 weeks along in the pregnancy, we couldn't see the cyst anymore.
咁喺懷孕嘅時間，亦都可能因為免疫系統比較弱啦，咁嗰陣時都有生蛇喎。
Yeah, so during my pregnancy, maybe because my immunity was low, I also developed shingles.
係啦，之前阿多都有分享過三姨係咯，生蛇其實係都幾辛苦噶。
Yeah, so just previously, Sister Do also shared with us that her boss, Sam Yi, also has shingles, and it's pretty difficult.
咁但係感恩嗰陣時個情況都唔算太嚴重咯，即係唔使食藥都可以自己慢慢好。
Yeah, but really give thanks that at that point in time, my case of shingles wasn't that serious, and I didn't have to take medication, and I was able to recover.
咁所以都喺呢啲事上面去感恩啦。
Yeah, so in all these things we give thanks.
咁而 Hannah 出世嗰個預產期咧係喺12月29號嘅。
Yeah, and so the estimated due date for Hannah was 29th of December.
咁好多親戚朋友咧就講笑話，第一胎咧通常會比預產期遲嘅喎。
Yeah, and a lot of friends and relatives were also teasing me and saying that usually for the first child, the delivery date, the actual delivery date would be later than they estimated.
咁所以如果佢遲多2日咧，佢就會係元旦出世啦。
So if she was 2 days after the estimated delivery date, then she'll be born on New Year's.
咁就講笑喺香港元旦 B， 我哋會有陣時會喺電視度見到啦。
And so we were saying, because in Hong Kong, if you're born on New Year's, sometimes they would, they would interview you and you'll be on TV.
仲好似有贊助㗎，好似有1年唔知奶粉定係尿片。
Yeah, maybe you have some free sponsors for a year. You'll have free milk powder or diapers.
咁但係咧，最後佢唔係喺元旦出世嘅。
Yeah, but in the end, she wasn't born on New Year's.
但係佢喺另外一個特別嘅日子出世。
She was born on another very special day,
佢係平安夜出世。
which is on Christmas Eve.
係啊，咁都係好感恩嘅。
Yeah, so I'm also very thankful that she was born on Christmas Eve.
咁有姊妹就笑佢話啱㗎啦，佢係平安夜出世，咁就有神嘅平安陪住佢啦，唔會似我咁咧，咁冇安全感同埋有好多嘅憂慮啦。
Yeah, so on Christmas Eve in Cantonese, it's Ping On Ye, which is like peaceful night, silent night, peaceful night. So somebody was also saying, that it's good that my daughter was born on this night, on this peaceful night. Yeah, may she really have God's peace with her, and then she wouldn't be like me to be so insecure.
咁的而且確咧，神喺佢身上咧都好多憐憫同埋賜俾佢平安。
Yeah, and sure enough, yeah, God has really granted grace, to her and given her a lot of peace.
其中一次比較深刻咧，係佢2歲嘅時候。
Yeah, one incident that left a deeper impression is when she was 2 years old.
有一次農曆新年咧，我哋同弟兄姊妹去燒嘢食。
Yeah, during Chinese New Year, we had a barbecue.
咁喺玩嘅過程入邊咧，佢唔小心個頭向後跌。
Yeah, and so in that process during the barbecue, there was an accident and she fell backwards.
咁於是咧就即刻嘔。
And immediately after she fell and hit her head, she threw up.
咁同埋即刻瞓覺。
And immediately she fell asleep.
咁我哋都幾擔心。
Yeah, so we were very worried.
咁因為去嗰笪地方都係有啲偏僻。
And because at that point in time we were in a more deserted, inaccessible place.
咁我哋就要 call 救護車送入醫院。
Yeah, so we had to call the ambulance to send her to the hospital.
咁香港嘅救護車咧，其實只可以容許一個人去陪嘅啫。
Yeah, so in Hong Kong, the ambulance will only allow one person to accompany the patient.
咁好感恩咧，嗰日救護員見到佢咁細個，就俾我哋父母2個一齊都可以上救護車。
Yeah, but thankfully, when the paramedics saw that the patient was so young, she allowed both parents to accompany her in the ambulance.
咁醫生咧覺得因為佢有嘔啦，咁同埋好似好攰咁就有啲即係其實想俾佢照磁力共振嘅，但係又擔心有輻射。
Yeah, so because she threw up, yeah, and because she was a bit woozy, so the doctors actually wanted to do a scan.
咁但係最後咧都決定都係覺得照咗會放心啲。
Yeah, so they went ahead, even though there was a risk of complications in doing a scan as well.
但係要照咧，佢咧就需要靜靜地瞓覺。
Yeah, but in order to do the scan, she had to be still.
但係嗰陣時佢已經瞓醒咗。
Yeah, but at that point in time, she was already awake.
醫生就叫我整到佢瞓嘅時候，咁佢就送佢去照。
And so the doctor was telling me to put her to sleep so that they can do the scan on her.
咁嗰陣時我都覺得有啲困難。咁佢瞓咗點樣？即係正常人都唔會話瞓覺就瞓覺，何況一個 BB。
Yeah, at that point, I thought it was quite difficult because even for us adults, right, we can't sleep on command, much less a young girl.
咁我哋都禱告啦。
Yeah, so at that point, we could only pray.
咁都感恩最後唔使藥物咧，唔使靠藥物，咁佢都真係瞓咗可以照得到。
Yeah, so in the end, we really thank God she was able to go to sleep and she was able to have the scan done.
咁照完亦都冇乜大礙。
Yeah, and there wasn't anything too major or too serious after the scan.
咁Hannah 嘅中文名咧叫希雅。
Yeah, so Hannah's Chinese name is Fiona.
我哋除咗希望佢溫文爾雅，
So apart from hoping, yeah, that she will be virtuous and gentle and refined,
我哋亦都希望咧佢由細個開始咧就可以認識亞威父神喎。
we also hope that she will come to know Yahweh God, yeah, from a young age.
喺神入邊咧揾到一份永恆嘅盼望。
And I hope that she can find eternal hope in God.
係呢份盼望咧係喺世界度揾唔到嘅。
Yeah, this hope cannot be found in the world.
而英文名我哋叫佢做 Hannah。
Yeah, and her English name is Hannah.
除咗咧我哋想襯翻同佢中文名接近，
So apart from it sounding like her Chinese name,
亦都希望咧佢能夠好似聖經入邊嘅哈拿一樣咧，成日咧都同神去禱告。
we also hope that she'll be like Hannah in the Bible, yeah, who constantly prayed to God.
咁做咗父母之後咧，其實更加體會到神嗰份心腸多一啲，
Yeah, so after becoming parents, yeah, I come to identify with God's heart a little bit more.
更加明白到神係好愛我哋。
Yeah, I really come to understand that God really loves us.
咁喺之後嘅時間咧，
Yeah, and in later times,
面對住照顧女兒啦、屋企人嘅離開啦，同埋工作上邊各種挑戰同困難。
yeah, as I had to face the challenges of taking care of my daughter, or family members leaving, or the stress of work.
咁好感恩都有神啦，同埋弟兄姊妹咧陪我一齊過，
Yeah, I'm very thankful that I have God and have the brothers and sisters, yeah, to be together with me.
亦都經歷咧喺唔同時間，神都去藉住呢啲唔同嘅事咧，去改變自己嘅心思意念。
Yeah, and I also really experienced, yeah, God using all these different challenges, yeah, to change me.
特別舊年我哋一家決定要移民，
Yeah, especially last year when we decided as a family to migrate.
對於一般人嚟講啦，可能我哋表面要放棄咗好多嘢。
Yeah, so when others look at us, they may think that we are giving up quite a lot.
咁但係對於屬我嘅人咧，都知道唔單止係表面上邊嘅放棄，
Yeah, but for those who really know me, they know that it's not just about giving up things,
因為佢哋都了解我嘅性格，
because they know my character
知道對我嚟講都係唔容易。
and they know that it's pretty difficult for me to do this.
應該係屋企3個人入邊我最難適應嗰個。
Yeah, I should be the one, yeah, amongst the three of us, yeah, I would find it the hardest, yeah, to adjust.
咁因為過去嘅時間，係啦，即係雖然結咗婚、有咗家庭、有小朋友，我都係有返工嘅。
Yeah, because all along, even though after I had gotten married and I had my child, I was still going to work.
咁依家要放棄我嘅事業，要喺屋企做家庭主婦啦。
But now I have to give up my career and I have to stay at home and be a homemaker.
當然要諗到咧，箴言31章講嘅賢德嘅婦人咧，我就覺得好難做到。
Yeah, as I think of the virtuous woman, yeah, as described in Proverbs 31, I find it really a big challenge.
咁成個過程入邊都要放低好多自己嘅諗法同埋已經有嘅價值觀。
Yeah, and in the process, I really have to put down a lot of my thoughts, a lot of my values, and my values have to be changed.
同埋要面對好多唔同嘅挑戰。
I also have to face many different challenges.
特別我好冇方向感嘅，
Yeah, especially because I don't have much of a sense of direction.
Stephen 嚟到呢度之後先發現，原來我真係連 Google Map 都唔識用。
It was only after we arrived in England that Stephen realized, oh, I don't even know how to read Google Maps.
咁但係因為呢度唔識揸車，就係好似冇咗對腳啦。
Yeah, and over here, because I do not know how to drive, I feel very crippled.
咁所以硬住頭皮都要去學啦，嚟緊就會考筆試。
Yeah, so I still have to force myself. Yeah, because of the circumstances, I have to learn how to drive.
咁不過正都係咁樣啦，
Yeah, but it's precisely because of all this.
就睇到自己好多嘅唔足夠啦。
Yeah, that I see my inadequacies.
咁就更加要去謙卑啦，而靠神啦。
Yeah, and all the more I need to humble myself and I need to rely on God.
被神去改變更新。
Yeah, I really need God to change me and to renew me.
喺人好多都覺得唔可以嘅事上邊咧，依靠住神咧，都係可以做得到嘅。
Yeah, and a lot of things, from man's eyes is impossible, but yeah, by God's grace, yeah, it is possible.
咁感謝神嘅恩典同埋慈愛啦。
And so we give thanks to God for His grace and His love.
係啦，俾我真係由細到大都可以真係經歷到去咯。
Yeah, that I was able to experience Him, yeah, from young.
但係仍然都要繼續嘅去謙卑啦，去學習啦。
Yeah, and yeah, going forward, I still need to humble myself and to continue learning.
特別喺新嘅環境入邊咯。
Yeah, especially in the new environment.
雖然都有5個月啦。
So although it's coming to 5 months,
都好感恩神嘅鼓勵啦。
Yeah, I really give thanks to God for His encouragement.
亦都多謝牧師同工弟兄姊妹嘅禱告、關心同支持啦。
Yeah, and I also want to thank all the pastors, co-workers, and brothers and sisters for their help and their concern and prayers.
因為如果唔係，我應該返咗香港噶啦，我覺得。
Because without all this, I might have just returned to Hong Kong already.
咁但係無論如何啦，應該嚟緊嘅時間都會繼續喺度啦，同大家一齊係啦，喺神入邊一齊嘅去學習啦，一齊努力去進步啦。
Yeah, but whatever it is, yeah, in the coming days, we should still be here, over here in England, and yeah, together we can learn to encourage one another and to learn to move forward together.
咁都多謝大家啦，我嘅分享到呢度啦。咁我哋想將時間交俾 Stephen 之前，我哋唱一首歌。
Yeah, so we thank you everyone. My sharing ends over here, but before I pass the time to Stephen, we want to sing another song.
向上，却对世界充满失望。在困倦绝望的路上，我该往哪去寻找生命真相？要为说丰盛旅程远不在这世界上，要为我仰望你，在基督里。一切丰盛居住，不怕世界虚晃，把自我最爱真实手放下，身在主里面丰盛祝福和意象，不再活着在世界中打仗，神带领的神乘风又破浪。把自我最爱真实想放下，身在主里面丰盛去爱和盼望，是你怜悯但爱同在，我有生命该给你盼望。往内中我与努力相向，却对世界充满失望，在困倦绝望的路上，我该往哪去寻找生命真相？要为说丰盛旅程远不在这世界上，要为我仰望你，在基督里，你一切丰盛居住，不怕世界虚晃。把自我最爱真实 声祝福和异象，不再活着在世界中打仗，像大林的山乘风又波浪，把自我罪恶救赎上放下，现在是在主里面丰盛之爱和盼望，是的，是你怜悯的爱同在，我有生命改变的盼望，把自我罪恶救赎上放下，现在是在主里面丰盛祝福和异象，不再活着在世界中打仗，像大林的山乘风又波浪，把自我罪恶救赎上放下，现在是在主里面丰盛之爱和盼望，是的，是你怜悯的爱同在，我有生命改变的盼望。
咁將時間交俾 Stephen 分享。
So we pass the time to Brother Stephen.
Testing testing 1 2 3，大家聽唔聽到咧？
So can you hear me
現
clearly?
場一定聽到嘅，網上面聽唔聽到都重要嘅。俾個 signal 嚟先，識唔識咁樣啊？
So
大家
can
俾
those
個
online give me a
嚟先
signal if you can hear me?
Good.
Because I'm sure that those present can hear me.
好，聽到就好啦。咁咧係啦，大家頭先都係啦，即係都好豐富嘅分享啦 ，Fiona 係啦，即係一個好好嘅係啦主菜咁樣樣啦。
Yeah, so just now Fiona really shared a very good sharing.
係啦，咁食完主菜啦，咁啊食少少甜品先啦，不如依家。
Yeah, so it was like the main course. So after the main course, after we've enjoyed the main course, now we come to the dessert.
係啦 ，dessert time，咁啊係啦，咁啊大家好啦，咁我就叫做 Stephen，
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Stephen.
係啦，咁啊好開心啦，可以同大家分享啦，
Yeah, I'm very happy to be able to share with everyone.
係啦，咁我講少少我嘅係啦背景啊，
Yeah, so let me share a bit of my background.
係啦，唔講大家都唔知道啊。
Yeah, because if I don't share it, I think all of you wouldn't know.
其實我咧都係由小學到中學咧都係讀有基督教背景嘅學校嘅，
Yeah, for me, similarly, from primary school all the way to secondary school, I was in a Christian school.
係啦，咁啱同阿 Fiona 都咁相似嘅啫，
Yeah, it was just so coincidental. You know, it's so similar to Fiona.
係啦，不過我就冇佢咁醒嘅，
Yeah, but I'm not as smart as her. I'm not as good as her.
我年少無知嘅，其實我係比較，
Yeah, I'm just smiling. I actually have no idea what's going on.
因為我都冇乜理過咩叫做基督教，其
Yeah,
實都
because
係
I never really bothered with what's Christianity.
聖經講乜嘢，其實我都冇乜點去理解嘅。
Yeah, I didn't bother to understand what the Bible says.
因為我覺得好無聊嘅，
Yeah, because I find it very a waste of time.
係啊，成日唱埋嗰啲好老土嗰啲聖詩咧，嗰啲咧，
They're always singing very old-fashioned hymns.
係啦，咁啊，同埋通常喺嗰啲組會啊或者週會嘅時候咧，
Yeah, and during all these congregational meetings,
咁啊好多人都好認真去唱啦，係啦，
yeah, and a lot of them will really be singing very seriously with their all.
係啦，咁我就同啲朋友咧就細細聲咧就喺度傾偈嘅，
Yeah, but then for
係
me and my
傾偈
friends, we'll actually be talking.
又或者扮晒好投入咁樣咧，就係瞓緊覺嘅其實。
Yeah, or else I'll act as if I'm very, very involved and really paying attention, but actually I'm sleeping.
係啦，咁大約啦就係去到中學畢業嘅時候啦，
So when I graduated from secondary school,
係啦，咁嗰個暑假咧就有一位朋友邀請我返教會嘅，
one of my friends invited me to church during the school holidays.
係啦，咁我見佢咁誠意拳拳啦，
And so because I saw him so sincere,
係啦，我都冇拒絕佢嘅，
I didn't reject him.
因為我都當係啦，俾下面佢啦都要係啦，
So I just thought, I'll give him some face. I would accept his invitation.
係啦，同埋又可以攝下啲時間喎，
And I can also, I can also have something to occupy my time.
哇 very good， 攝時間我都唔知點翻譯嘅真係，好跟住通常咧係啦，我就星期六啦都會同朋友去打籃球嘅。
So usually on Saturday, I'll play basketball with my friends.
係啦，咁啱打籃球之前又有少少時間，
Yeah, so I have some time before playing
係
basketball.
啦，咁我所以就嗰陣時就第一次返教會嘅團契，
Yeah, and so that was the first time I joined the church fellowship.
係啦，咁起初咧都係諗住返一次嘅啫，其實就係諗住返一次嘅啫，
Yeah, so in the beginning, I thought I'll just go once.
係啦，但係就因為第一次返嘅時候啦，
But then because the first time I went,
就見到都有幾位係啦，即係熟悉嘅朋友喎，係啦，
yeah, I met a few familiar faces, like
有係啦，其中一位係啦都比較熟悉嘅，依家都係日日都見嘅嗰個就
and one has become so familiar that I see her every day.
係啦。 咁啊啦，即係加上啦，返教會好好㗎，其實
Yeah, in addition, it's actually very good to come to church.
係啦，又可以學吉他啦，
I can learn how to play the guitar.
又可以聽聖經啦，
I can learn Bible
最緊
stories.
要有嘢食喎，
But the most important thing is that I have something to eat.
係啦，所以我就繼續返啦，
Yeah, so that's why I continue to come to church.
係啦。咁係啦，即係喺嗰個呢個時候咧，最初返教會sorry，即係話頭先我講嘅咧，就係我最初返教會嘅情況嚟嘅。
Yeah, so this is how I began coming to church fellowships.
係啦，咁我慢慢認識聖經嘅教導啦，經歷神啦。
Yeah, so slowly I experienced God and I understood more, what the Bible was teaching.
係啦，所以我就決定咗受浸啦。
Yeah, so that's why I decided to be baptized.
係啦，咁我今日分享到呢度啦 ，OK？
Yeah, so that's all I'm sharing today.
係啦，係咪好短啊？嗰個甜品時間
Yeah, this dessert very short.
係啦，嚇親阿 Phoebe 喺度。
Maybe
其實
I'll get
係啦
shocked.
係啦，咁啊係啦，其實今日都預備咗有3個經歷嘅。
Yeah, but today I've actually chosen 3 experiences to share with you all.
係啦，其中一個都係比較痛嘅經歷嚟嘅。係
Yeah, one of these experiences is actually pretty painful.
係啦，一陣間俾大家睇下
Yeah, so later
係
on
睇下
I'll
我
share
嗰
with you
幾
all.
痛係啦，睇下
Yeah,。so that
OK，
you can understand my pain.
係啦，咁啊以前咧，咁我就返教會通常都好輕鬆嘅，唔使帶嘢嘅。
Yeah, so previously whenever I came to church, I'll be very relaxed. I didn't have to bring anything.
係啦，因為教會咧都好多預備嘅，例如有聖經啦，有食物啦，又有飲品咁樣啦。
Yeah, because the church would prepare everything from Bibles to food to drinks and refreshment.
係啦，因為當時其實都教會除咗俾我哋一啲屬靈嘅食物啦，咁之後都有啲屬肉體嘅食物嘅，其實都係
Yeah,。because at that point in time, the church the church didn't only prepare spiritual food, they also prepared physical food for us.
係啦，咁我都係因為一啲屬肉體啦，我係啦屬肉體啊嗰陣時我都係屬肉體嘅食物就吸引我留低嘅。其實
So actually, it was the physical food that attracted me to stay.
係啦，咁你睇下我個身形大概嚇，都知道我係一個中意食嘢嘅人啦。
So if you look at my physique, you know that I like to eat.
係啦，咁係啦，咁當我返咗教會耐咗啦，
So after some time in church,
同埋又會花咗一啲時間睇下聖經咁樣樣啦。
and after spending more time in the Bible,
係啦，慢慢都對一啲屬靈嘅食物都有興趣㗎。
I began to be more interested in spiritual food as well.
係啦，都係睇下耶穌嘅教導咁樣樣啦嗰陣時。
Yeah, I also look into the Lord's teachings.
係啦，咁於是我就祈禱啦，同神講，
Yeah, that time I prayed to God.
係啦，可唔可以俾本聖經？係啦，俾本聖經我啊。
And God, can you give me a Bible, please?
係啦，我都想多啲時間睇聖經喎。
Yeah, I like to read the Bible more.
係啦，咁但係嗰陣時候我又唔想買一本喎，嗰陣時我又真係
But at that point in time, I didn't want to spend money to buy a Bible.
係啦，所以我就同神講係啦，祈禱，神係你俾本聖經我啊。
So that's why I prayed to God and asked Him to provide a Bible.
係啦，就係啦，因為其實就嗰個年代啦，我咁講啦，以前個年代咧就冇而家咁方便啦。而家係啦，你上去 App Store 啊，上去 Google Store 啊，你撳2下掣啊，就手機度已經有個聖經嘅其實。
Because back in my time, getting a Bible wasn't as simple as now. Going on the App Store to download one, I needed a physical Bible.
係啦，咁所以就頭先話有個咁嘅禱告啦，想要本聖經嘅。
Yeah, so this was my prayer. I prayed for a Bible.
係啦，咁禱告咗之後咧，咁就有一次同啲朋友去打籃球喎。
So after my prayer, I went to play basketball with my friends this one time.
係啦，一如以往啦，都係咁樣打下傾下偈啊，咁樣嘅。
Yeah, just as usual, we'll play basketball and we'll also chat.
係啦，跟住咧就有一個朋友咧就叫我過嚟喎，喂，過嚟啊 Steven。
And after that, one of my friends asked me to come over. He was like, Steven, come over.
係啦，今日啦，即係我問佢咩事啊，咁樣
And I
啦。
asked him like, hey, what's this about?
佢就話：喂，有本書送俾你啊。
And he told me I have a book for you.
係啦，我冇用嘅，送俾你啊，係
So
啦，
I
冇
have
用
no
嘅。
use for this, so I'll give it to you.
咁我原本以為係一啲雜誌啊，或者啲漫畫啦。
So at first I thought it was a magazine or a comic.
係啦，咁係啦，跟住咁啱喎，咁佢話呢本嘢送俾你啦，原來係本聖經嚟。
But that book that he gave to me turns out to be a Bible.
係啦，係一本新約嘅聖經。
And it's the New Testament.
係啦，冇舊約內容嘅。
They didn't have the Old Testament.
係啦，可能神就係啦，即係咁啱啊，知道我需要喎，咁係啦，我心諗係咪咁啱啊，即係咁巧咧咁樣嘅。
So I was thinking, I was like, is this a
係啦，
coincidence?
唔通神真係回應緊我？係啦，
Yeah, is this God responding to my prayer?
係啦，咁係啦，喺嗰一次之後啦，
Yeah, but after that time,
係啦，我收到本聖經，咁我就係啦，即係都好努力咁樣去讀聖經啦。
so after I received the Bible, I really put in an effort to read the Bible.
但 特別就係新約嘅，
especially the New Testament.
係啦，因為當時咧我都係得嗰本聖經嘅啫，
Because at that point in time, I only had the New Testament.
係啦，慢慢咧都翻查經班啊，再思考一下啦。
Yeah, so after that, I attended more Bible study classes and I thought about things a bit more.
係啦，都認為聖經講嘅神咧係會聽禱告嘅。
Yeah, and then I realized that the God in the Bible would listen to our prayers.
係啦，只要你尋找就會尋見。
Yeah, as long as you seek, you will find.
係啦，敲門就不你開門。
Yeah, if you knock, the door will be open to you.
係啦，咁啊，當我跟住就上大學啦。
So after that, I went to university.
係啦，咁啊大學初期就比較忙啦，
Yeah, so in the beginning of university, I was busier.
每一日都上堂啊，又要做一啲 project 啦，
Yeah, it's not only did I have to attend classes, I had to do projects.
係啦，又要睇好多唔同嘅書咁樣嘅。
I had to read many different books.
係啦，咁除此之外，自己又中意喐下啦，又有一啲活動喎。
And apart from my studies, I'm pretty active. I like sports.
係啦，又中意打籃球啦，
I like basketball.
又有打下桌球啦，
I like snooker.
又有做下 gym 啦，
I'll go to the gym.
又會做下啲以前做嘅嘢，就係唱歌咁樣啦，唱下卡拉 OK 咁樣
I
啦。
also go to the karaoke.
係啦，即係依個就依家真係唔會噶啦，
Yeah, this is something that I stopped doing right now.
除咗同個女玩之外，係啦。
Yeah, apart from playing with my daughter.
係啦，咁慢慢咧都唔想再花好多時間翻教會啦，嗰陣時就
Yeah, so slowly, because of all these activities, I didn't want to go to church so much.
係啦，咁同埋都冇乜點睇聖經啦嗰段時間。
Yeah, and because I was busy, I didn't really read the Bible.
係啦，咁同埋都話啦，通常我星期六咧都會同朋友去打籃球嘅。
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, usually on Saturdays I'll play basketball with my friends.
係啦，大概我哋就係星期六嘅下晝5點至6點開始打波嘅。
So usually we begin at about 5 to 6 p.m.
係啦，一打就打到大概10點啊11點咁樣樣。
all the way to 10, 11.
係啦，所以其實我以前都OK 㗎，都 fit 㗎都。
Yeah,
以
so
前啦。
actually previously I used to be pretty fit.
咁而家諗翻咧，都係咯，咦咁勁嘅，原來以前咁 fit 嘅。
Yeah, so actually when I look back, I'm also
唔記得
impressed
咗
by
揾啲
myself.
相添，係啦。
I forgot to
記得
show you
咗
some photos.
係啦，以前我係 Albert 咁嘅身形嘅，
Yeah, and then previously I looked like Albert. My physique was
唔
more
係
like
Albert 再
Albert.
fit 啲，係啦。
Yeah, but I was a fitter Albert.
係啦，咪 fit Albert fit 啲，係啦，係啦。咁咧係啦，咁跟住就講緊啦，頭先都話教會嘅團契咧，其實就係喺星期六嘅下晝2點鐘喎。
Yeah, so just now I also mentioned that the fellowship in church, was in the afternoon on Saturday.
係啦，咁所以咧，通常我fellow 團契咧4-5點完結㗎啦，就會
Yeah, so the fellowship began at 2 o'clock and it will end by 4 to 5.
係啦，咁啊啱時間非常配合我啦，因為完咗團契就可以去打波啦。
Yeah, so the timing was very suitable because after the fellowship time, I can go and play basketball.
係啦，咁樣嘅生活大概維持咗1至2年嘅時間啦。
So it was this way. This was my routine for about 1 to 2
係咯
years.
本身都覺得冇乜問題啊，幾好啊，即係冇乜浪費時間又
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good arrangement. I didn't have to waste any time.
係啦，但係就覺得好似唔係咁好咁樣樣喎，
But at the same time, I also felt, something wasn't quite right.
即係有少少好似唔係好認真喎，好似件事就
Yeah, I kind of felt that I wasn't very serious.
係啦，好似出咗啲問題
Yeah, there was some problem somewhere.
係啦，於是我又禱告啦。
Yeah, so that's when I prayed again.
係啦，祈禱神可以幫我專心翻係啦，即係睇聖經啊，或者係啦翻下查經班啊。
Yeah, I asked God to help me to be serious. Yeah, whether in attending fellowship or in reading the Bible.
係啦，唔知大家係咪都有類似嘅經驗咁樣啦
Yeah, I don't know whether you have similar experiences.
嚇。係啦，咁有一次啦，咁我都係好似以往咁樣翻團契。
Yeah, so there was this one time, as per my usual routine, I joined the fellowship.
係啦，咁我翻完團契就去打波啦。
And so after that, I went to play basketball.
但嗰一次打波咧就真係受咗傷啦。
But at that time, when I played basketball, I injured myself.
係啦，受傷咧就睇下個圖片
So
啊，
you
可
can
以
have a look at the
係啦
picture.
唔係呢張，我有生命改變都係嘅，係啦嘅盼望嘅，係啦。當時我嘅手指咧，即係呢度就顯示咗俾大家睇啦。
Yeah, so if you can see the screen, this is what happened to me at that point in
係
time.
啊，以前我真係唔明點解會有人講，唉，你真係手指拗出唔拗入啊！
Yeah, last time I didn't understand this Cantonese saying, which is that it's easier to bend the finger outwards than inwards.
係啦，
All right, which actually means, it's easier to side with, it's someone who sides with outsiders and not somebody who's close to you.
好犀利呢個翻譯，我都真係諗唔到手指拗出唔拗入嘅英文。
Yeah, so this is a very colloquial term.
係啦，咁我而家明啦，即係仲真係好痛添，我仲明得好緊要，真係。
Yeah, but now I understand. It was very painful. It was excruciating.
係啦，嗰次之後咧，醫生都話叫我唔好打波啦。
And after that, actually, the doctor advised me not to play
係
basketball
啦，
anymore.
休息下啦，休息下啦。
I should rest.
係啦，咁我正正就係因為嗰次意外喎，
Yeah, but because of this accident,
咁就冇得打波啦，一段時間都
I couldn't play basketball for a period of time.
係啦。咁啊，同時間又再諗下，咦係咪咁啱咧？又係
And at that time, I thought, oh dear, is this another coincidence?
係啦，因為啱啱我就係禱告話專心翻查經班啊，睇聖經噶嘛。
I was just praying, that I would be more serious in reading the Bible and in joining the fellowship.
係啦，跟住就整親隻手啦。
And then I injured my finger.
係啦，希望大家頭先就話，如果話有差唔多嘅經歷，唔好咁痛先經歷到神啦嚇。
So if you have any similar experiences, I hope yours wasn't as painful as mine.
咁啱，咁係啦，跟住啦就大學嘅1年班準備讀2年班啦。
So next, when I was after I finished my first year of university, as I was preparing for the second one,
係啦，咁我就考慮緊繼唔繼續讀好咧？
I was considering whether I should continue my studies
係啦，因為嗰陣時候就冇錢交學費。
because at that time I didn't have enough money to pay my school fees.
係啦，當時就又諗，不如暫停唔好讀住啦，出嚟工作係啦，揾錢啦。
Yeah, I considered pausing my education, stopping my school for a while so that I can come out to work and earn some money.
嗱咁就 OK 啦，冇問題啦。咁就係啦，就諗緊嘅時候咧，
So as I was considering and trying to decide,
但係如果我又揾唔到嘢做，又冇書讀，咁我咪傷失。
yeah, I also thought, what if I paused my studies and I went out to look for a job? But what if I couldn't find a job? Then, I have nothing.
係啦，咁我於是又禱告啦，又同神講啦，
And so I prayed again.
咁啊希望神就即係提示我應該點做啦。
Yeah, I prayed that God would guide me to make the right decision.
咁啊，大家覺得神會點樣回應咧？
So how do you think God would respond to me? How do you think God responded?
係啦，係咪想我傷失咧？
Did he want me to lose everything and have nothing?
係啦，神咧就真係對我好好嘅。
Yeah, God is very good to me.
咁我禱告咗之後咧，
After my prayer,
咁我就返團契就同一位姊妹傾偈啦。
yeah, when I went back to church for the fellowship, I was sharing with a sister.
係啦，就知道佢咧嘅返大學裏邊咧，就啱啱就想請一啲大學生做 part time 喎。
Yeah, and then I realized that she knew in her school there was some opportunities for university students to do some part-time work.
係啦，咁啊時間咧就非常之有彈性嘅。
And the timing was very flexible.
係啦，基本上我咩時間有時間咧就可以去做㗎啦。
So long as I had time, I could go and work.
係啦，而且嗰個人工都幾好嘅。
And the salary was pretty good.
係啦，係咪好 amazing 咧？
Yeah, isn't this very amazing?
咁都未算喎，係啦。
Yeah, but this is not the end of it.
咁再過多幾日啦，
After a few days,
咁另一位弟兄，
and there was another brother.
咁佢就原本喺一啲青年中心度幫啲小朋友補習嘅。
Yeah, he was giving some tuition in some youth centers.
咁佢就想揾一啲人去幫佢手去即係補習啦，同啲學生。
Yeah, and he was looking for tutors.
係啦，咁於是咧就問我你有冇興趣 Stephen 咁樣樣？
And so he asked me, Stephen, are you interested?
係啦，咁當時嗰個係啦，即係 part time 又係人工都幾好喎。
And at that point in time, that part-time job, had also had a pretty good salary.
係啦，哇！真係十分之係啦，即係感恩啦，即係咁啱係啦，有呢個需要嘅時候。
Yeah, so I was very, very thankful. Just when I had a need, coincidentally, there was an answer.
係啦，神就會俾到即係足夠或者有餘添啦，嗰個援助都係。
Yeah, God provided not just enough, he provided more than what I needed.
係啦，神就將我由傷失就變咗做相得添啦，變咗就係啦。
Yeah, from the possibility of having nothing, I had everything.
係啦，咁係咪又係巧合咧？大家覺得係啦，即係咁啱。
Is this a coincidence, you think?
係啦，我相信大家都心裏邊有個答案喺入邊嘅。
Yeah, I think we all know the answer in our hearts.
係啦，希望大家都記得翻啦。其實神都有好多係啦，即係回應咗我哋嘅禱告嘅。
Yeah, I hope all of us can remember that actually God has answered many of our
係啦，
prayers.
希望可以鼓勵到大家啦。
Yeah, and I hope to encourage all of you.
係啦，咁啊係咁多啦，多謝大家。
Yeah, so thank you. This is my sharing.
唔該，Judy。